Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome to a new little series I'm going to be doing for the entirety of August, as much as I can, and that's going to be fellow YouTuber spotlights. Obviously, I've done some of these guys before, but I've got a bunch of them that have been racking up, so I thought it appropriate and timely, for reasons as you'll find soon, that I start with one of my favorite group of YouTubers out there. That's The Red Room with Wretched Vigilantes. This one by Miguel and Michael. You can check them out on YouTube. The OGGM and The Red Room. The timely reason is not only did I just finish reading this last night, but I also just finished watching the director's cut of the greatest vigilante movie of all time. Arguably also the greatest comic book movie and superhero movie all rolled up into one, and that's of course The Watchmen, the director's cut, all like 3.5 hours of it when I could get my DVD player to work properly. So I finished watching and reading both of these fantastic items, only to wake up this morning to find out that the Red Room had a big announcement on their latest video which pertains to this. So go and check it out, and I'll probably talk about it a little during this video. Now, you guys all know that the superhero genre is one of my favorite genres of role-playing games. And if you're looking for a game with superpowers and teleportation and laser beam eyes and intangibility and things like that, this ain't that kind of game. This is a vigilante game in which, I'm not going to lie, several times through reading this, I'm like, but where's the super? Where's the super? And I'm like, oh yeah, there are some superpowers, but they're the toned down, lower level ones, if you will. If you were playing games like Villains and Vigilantes or Heroes Unlimited, they would be the minor powers. You'd never see things going up into the, characters can fly and stuff like that, which, is more my cup of tea. But that being said, The Watchmen's my favorite movie of all time, out of all movies, period. Hands down, favorite. Same with the graphic novel or the comic book, favorite, hands down, easy. No arguments there whatsoever. There's some close seconds, but that's it. And that's kind of what you're looking at here, except with an even darker twist. So let me read you the back side of the book, so you know exactly what we're talking about, and we can all be on the same page. Wretched Vigilantes is a game setting for the Wretched Role Playing Game that thrusts players into the gritty and dark world of Hamlettville, infamously known as Crime City. Within this setting, players assume the roles of anti-hero characters, retired vigilantes who are unexpectedly called back into action to defend their city. Their adversaries are the Vanguard Squad, a group of once heroic crime fighters who have become corrupted and transformed into crime lords themselves, terrorizing the very city they once protected. As former vigilantes, the player characters embark on a journey of redemption and self-discovery. They must confront their personal struggles, including the moral dilemmas of their past actions, and adapt to a city in turmoil. Okay, that's what you get. Former heroes called back into action to put down the dogs that were the next generation of heroes that decided, you know what, who can stop us? Let's be the bad guys. Let's run everything ourselves. Interesting and well in line with Miguel and Sylvia's Wretched universe, where everybody's a bastard. Kind of like our own world, but a little darker, obviously. And I've mentioned before in reviewing their games the virtues and vice system that they use as opposed to an alignment system. For me, is just absolutely genius. But I tend to prefer reading about, writing about, and playing the heroes. And this is an interesting take. Hopefully, your player group will eventually turn around. I've seen it happen. It can happen. It doesn't always happen, but for me, it's all too easy to play the bad guys. The heroes are the challenging character types to write about, to be, to play, and so that's one of the things that I'm not going to mesh 100% with their philosophy, but nonetheless, it's still a fantastic system. You're going to need the Wretched Role Playing Game to make heads or tails of this, but once you've familiarized yourself with both things, awesome. Now, I could go on all day about the things I love about this, which obviously, I already have done some of that, and I've done so in the reviewing of the Wretched Role Playing Game and the Wretched Country, which honestly, I don't know what it was about that one versus this one, but Wretched Country was just a lot better for me. Maybe it's because I'm a Western guy and that's what I want to read about, but it seems there was a little bit more love in that. And no offense, Michael, I know that's your main jam, as it is mostly with mine. But there were some things that just didn't show the love as much. Maybe it got edited out. Maybe you missed some things, or maybe both of you just need to, show it off a little more. For example, I thought it was clever, but at the same time, something I don't like. The book is filled with ads, and for magazines and things like that are a clever way. Sports Exaggerated, Epic, Erica Mayo, aka Speed, Sexy Vigilante, supposed to be a Sports Illustrated cover. All the art is top notch, and some of it actually made my son want to burn the book because how he is. And if you don't, we can talk about that. Prime Magazine, supposed to be Time Magazine, stuff like that. I get it. It was actually clever and well done. But then there are a couple instances where we have to read the commercial. I'm going to say that again. We read the commercial. I hate commercials. If there's a commercial on YouTube or the internet or whatever, I'll do whatever it takes to not watch it. And I'm actually at the point where if you show me a commercial, I will probably, by virtue of you showing me the commercial, never buy your product. And I get why you guys did it, but having to read the commercial, like read the script of the commercial, stuff like that, I did it, but I took a couple hit points damage in doing so. The other things, the stories from the magazines and things like that, that's pretty much standard bill of fare. And, instead of it just being, fluff text or lore in the standard, strange, medieval looking font or fantasy fonts and things like that. You guys did it. You did bang up jobs, but some of it was a little trying to squeeze too much in to those pages. Should have just maybe a little more natural. And if they miss stuff, they'll have to extrapolate. Again, I'm a gear junkie. Equipment in a game like this, especially a low-powered game where you're going to be dealing with characters like Batman or I think it was Gadget Girl, things like that. A little section on gadgets, things that you won't find in the Wretched book. Maybe the smoke capsules, just a little bit more, details and stats and things and areas of effect of gadgets would have been very helpful. The typical grapple gun, it just seems to always have enough rope. I like the idea of limitations. It's got 100 feet of rope. That or whatever. Little details like that. The damage, the range, the area of effect, things like that for superhero gadgets. Even if you only put in like 10 or so, would have been nice. I get it. This isn't the highest of tech games. I think it's in the late 20s, 2020s or something like that, or maybe further on down the road than that. So there's no flying cars, which kind of bums me out, but it's not that kind of game. It's not there yet. Maybe, you take some advice from an old guy and make a, wretched superheroes or wretched, something, the next level of power. Because in this game, it's all mostly done either by cybernetics, psionics, or, like I said, for the most part, through chemical and experimentation on humans. Whether it's, the specifics aren't really important, but you can take a drug that will give you superpowers for like 5 minutes or kill you, or you can go through these processes that give you superpowers, like the next level, the people who can fly, the people who shoot laser beams out of their eyes, the people who can walk through walls, the next level. I would love to see that, because that's where I want to go when I'm doing supers. More monsters and robots and androids and things like that would have been nice. A little bit bigger section, because I think it's only a couple of pages. And like I've said before, with those things, more descriptions, more stats, more details. You've got the bare minimums down there, but some fledgling DMs are going to need more. Now, obviously, in our circle, almost everybody we know is a GM, and they've been doing this for years and years, and like me, centuries, and they can just do the math in their head, and they don't need it. But for the newbies, which I think this would appeal to a lot of people, especially starting with the Wretched Role Playing Game and then into whatever genre they want. But for those people who've never even touched a role playing game or run a game, I think some of that stuff is definitely needed. And since you're well, we'll get to that in a minute, thinking about stuff like that, those would be some of my suggestions. And obviously, a section on higher powers. A couple of the characters I noticed, like Apex, I'm pretty sure that's already a character. If it's not a character, it's the name of a Reaper miniature that's a superhero kind of Monster X, or Ape X, Monster Ape, character. There's a couple others that I think are also borderline, touching on other people's, creations that are so similar, especially Apex. There were a couple of typos or misprints. One place was you were talking about the heir to the throne kind of situation. I don't remember exactly, and I should have highlighted it, but it was spelled wrong. It was like H-A-R-E or instead of H-E-I-R, heir to the throne. Check that one out. And also, somewhere in here you wrote sleeping with the fish. Here, I'm pretty certain it's sleeping with the fishes. I know it's pedantic, but it just, when I read it, I'm like, wait a minute. It was just hitting my brain after I'd read it. It's like, that's not right. There's something wrong about that. But otherwise, top-notch work. You guys put out some of the best stuff there is when it comes to new stuff. Another section I would come up with or put in here, I know it seems minor, but random loot or fines, whether it be technological or monetary, when the heroes, bag a bad guy in the middle of a crime, what's in the bag. And one of the reasons I'm suggesting this is because your premise seems to be, wretched bastardy, people who might just pull stuff out and keep it. So knowing what they might steal from the criminals could be helpful, as well as ways and random ways to put in, top secret experiments and things like that. That, I just got the formula for this thing. Well, making a copy of that, or blackmail information, or even, a new technological gadget. Well, they may decide to keep that for their own arsenal. They are bad guys, but those are my recommendations or suggestions of things I would add or fix. The NPCs, You did a great job on most of them till you got to the lesser, the mooks and the lieutenants and stuff like that. Those guys tend to be the characters or NPCs that the players are going to deal with more, so fleshing them out a little more might not be a bad idea. Otherwise, top-notch book. Now, on to the humorous side is their announcement is that they're going to make a revised version. So right after I bought the copy, read the copy, and reviewed the copy, you're coming out with a new edition. I'll probably grab it, but if anybody's looking for an original copy of the, I wouldn't be opposed to trading it. I wouldn't sell it because, you could just get it from them or get the PDF. But you want to trade a hard copy of a book for a hard copy of a book, we can talk because I'll want the revised version, and hopefully it'll contain some of my suggestions. But if not, no big deal. Miguel, Michael, you guys did a bang up job. I'm looking to see more stuff from this line of books, because there are supplements or adventures and things like that. But gonna have to hold back on the paying for them until I see how it's gonna go with the revised version of Wretched Vigilantes. If you've got a copy of it, it's still going to be a great game, great system, and full of great ideas for running this kind of game, which we really need more games like this set in modern times or in the future or a little bit in the past. I don't know why games like this aren't as popular, but with me, they're tops. So from all of us at Shadow and Sun, thank you guys. Miguel, Michael, keep doing what you're doing. Keep up the great work. I am looking forward to reading more stuff from you guys. However, I don't have anything else to read this month. If something comes across my desk, I will. But I am going to be reading and reviewing products from some other YouTubers out there that I'm really fond of. And hopefully you guys will enjoy that stuff. The names you've heard before. And I might even do one tomorrow if I make it through it today. Otherwise, it'll be next week. And I don't want to just, hit you guys with non-stop nothing but, love for my fellow YouTubers, which, is warranted. And I hope you guys enjoy all that. But for me, it's still early morning. I'm going to go out and do some other stuff and see what the boys doing. And you guys have yourselves a great day. I will talk to you guys real soon. Love you all. And as always, happy trails.